I can't believe he's actually gone. Why must the good always die so young? Weaponized cuteness is no way to go. And worse yet, I'll never be able to hit it with my gavel ever again. Wow! What the? Hey, are you the gravedigger?
Do I look like one?
I'm the judge around here, so don't talk back to me.
Look, I'm the doctor, and I'm here to help your friend.
Well, you're a little late on that. You see, there's a difference between dead and mostly dead.
I'm aware.
Oh, just shut up and get on with it.
Man, I had the craziest dream where I died. And you were there, 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 and ooh, free TARDIS. Can we judge?
Oh yeah, wee!
Wait, that's all yours. It's mine. I lose more TARDISes this way. Man, what a crazy day! I was dead, stole a TARDIS, and I found those snazzy invisible 3D goggles that prevent my heart from exploding upon over-cuteness exposure. What a day indeed.
I verily agree, Mr. Code. Now then, before anything else strange happens, let's begin with the cross-examination. Ponyville prepares for the arrival of the Breezies.
First off, after a nice callback reversal of the flutter cheer from Sonic Rainboom, we get our introduction to the Breezies and their magical workflow, which becomes active upon entering a breeze stream and protects their pollen, which I'll assume is their primary resource. A minor point, but I think it would help better with a visual cue, seeing an aura or something to physically show their neutral state versus Breeze's assisted state to show that their magic is active. What gave this episode gravity to the Breezy situation was how the episode established a timeline early on of 2 days where they had to return home or be locked out for an insurmountable amount of time. And because in Ponyville no event can ever go swimmingly, trouble ensues.
A pack of Breezes are cut off from the main group and Fluttershy cares for them in their temporarily grounded state.
Oh, sweet Celestia, it's horrible! Just listen to their cries of distress!
Listen.
So Fluttershy, her naturally nurturing self, takes the Breezies, who apparently have the one-track mind of the Pinky clones. At first, Fluttershy is able to treat the Breezies with the finesse of any other animal care problem, but almost immediately things get out of hand as the Breezies essentially take over her home with earnest disapproval from her other animal friends being kicked out of their homes. As for Seabreeze herself,
hey, watch it or I'll call security.
Sorry.
Himself, anyway, Seabreeze's aggressive disposition is an understandable one. He's not berating the other Breezies' carefree nature for the sake of asserting himself over them, but to enforce how dire the situation is and motivate them by any means necessary to get that fact to sink into their heads. At the same time, the other Breezies' fear of departure is reasonable, as we've seen with their fragile build with a leaf knocking them out of whack, and eventually become completely reliant on Fluttershy for every single whim. So it's a reasonable play when Seabreeze runs off on his own, basically saying,
Where you guys? I'm going home.
Not for making their horseplay. You make the monkey business somewhere else.
He's completely fed up with them not realizing the gravity of the situation and decides to leave the sheep behind to their own fate. As for Fluttershy's role, being her overly naive and nice self, she's been inadvertently escalating the situation, taking care of the Breezies but ignoring the big picture of the portal closing, relaxing her assertive nature in lieu of possibly upsetting them by kicking them out. And it all comes to a head when we see the dichotomy between Fluttershy and Seabreeze's personality intersect. Cue Rainbow Flash and message. I see this as a great team building moral, wherein it's great to have fun working with said group, but ignoring the goals and priorities the group is initially beset with leads to breakdown and failure. Seabreeze realizes that a task-focused leader is a vital element of a group dynamic, yet nothing but negative reinforcement can lead to backlash. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Fluttershy realizes that compromise can only go so far, and that there are times when you have to face the harshness of reality. Sometimes you have no choice but to make radical but necessary decisions for the greater good of others, no matter how cruel it may seem.
Twilight transforms the main 6 into Breezes and helps them return home.
Oh my gosh, a new spell Twilight learned has no negative repercussions. It's a miracle. Another aspect that would have made the situation more dire is if Seabreeze mentioned more about missing his own family, which would have made his earlier frustration of leaving the Breezies much more impactful. And by the end, when they all reunite, it shows how Seabreeze is such a noble father figure who is just desperate to see his family. Meanwhile, the others had no words of ever returning to their homes and families and were pretty much acting like selfish jerks on vacation. So Seabreeze gives Fluttershy her flower key and they return home. Once again, new writer Natasha Levenger brings us a fun tale, new world building with the Breezies, and delivers a fantastic moral. So overall, I like this episode. Other things. The language for the Breezies was odd but funny, and it didn't really bother me that much. The brief glances of the Breezies' home has a Shangri-La meets Mushroom Kingdom kind of vibe. And let's see, I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything else. Let me just check the monitor and...
Hey, that's my line. I was saying it before it was cool.
I think the fandom universe just exploded. We have the 10th Doctor and his 3D glasses walking with Rose Tyler Luck. Very cool, subtle reference. I just hope him crossing into our dimension hasn't caused any weird rifts or anomalies.
Wah, you mean me?
Ah, crap.